I want to talk about something that you may have heard mentioned before, but not really discussed, and that is the dreams people have been having within the past year or so. I found something very interesting. Well, a few things. I knew a few years ago that people would begin to report having unusual dreams. And I have heard other people say this on occasion as well, mainly due to Earth changes. Guess what? Sources have already gone out of their way to explain all that away for you. Starting about 1 year ago, there were a series of articles and videos that popped up to explain why so many people were reporting strange dreams. And the first thing that popped into my head was, who the freak is reporting their dreams? And to who? The FBI, the Federal Bureau of Inception, the Dream Warriors Network? Who do you report dreams to? You mean there are people out there getting up saying, wow, that was a weird one. Let me make sure to report this to the proper authorities. All bad jokes aside, there are dream groups and chats, threads, Reddit, of course. People go on live streams and talk about their dreams, things like that. Is that what they mean by reports? And yeah, you could get data from those places, but to me, this is data that was obtained by looking at what people have been searching for on the internet. A phrase like strange dreams and an inquiry. Someone wanted to know what people were dreaming about. The surveys were conducted, the question was asked, and the public responded. And so all of a sudden, since early 2020 up until now, but mostly early 2020 around April is when you see dozens of articles and videos on the subject. And the explanation for this increase in strange dreaming globally is the pandemic. Now, that may seem quite reasonable to many people, but it seems mighty convenient to me. Let's talk. I want to propose an idea to you guys. Many of us have a fairly good understanding of there being some type of dimension or spiritual realm that we coexist with. Even if you want to call it a realm of invisible forces, you know, all the forces of the universe that we deal with but can't see naturally. With all the earth changes, atmospheric changes, magnetic changes, and changes in physics, do you think the veil that separates us in that spiritual realm is changing as well? And if it is biology changing? Are we changing? Now, why is it that these strange dreams people are having seem to be prophetic? And I'll show you what I mean in a moment. In other words, well, I'll just say it. What if these weird dreams are people having true visions of the future, and a certain group of people know about this? They have been expecting it, and they are using this event of ours to explain it away. Maybe because of all these cosmic and terrestrial changes, people's dormant psychic abilities are starting to wake up. Or perhaps these abilities are being stimulated. I understand that there are people out there who have had real life premonitions, both sleeping and awake. But we'll discuss that in a moment. By the way, weird vivid dreams are also a result of fever and apparently a side effect of some pharmaceuticals. Now, if you go looking for information on the subject of strange dreams, you will see all the propaganda in your face, trying to sell the idea of normality, that everything is fine and good. Most of the videos you first come across are from mainstream news sources, a bunch of them. National Geographic got in on it. Most of the videos are around 2 minutes. It seems like a campaign with an explanation from the same researcher over and over again. National Geographic, the New York Times, CBS, BBC News, News 8, 4, 13, all the numbers. Today, Time Magazine, Fox. You see a bunch of YouTube gray checkmark channels, and that is who is putting out this information. And this was a big deal in April of last year for some reason, and there was a huge inquiry. So one theory put out, and what looks like the only theory put out, is that because people are caused to stay at home more, they are getting more sleep after being sleep deprived, which equals more strange dreams. This is also associated with stress levels and hormone release cycles, REM sleep cycles. Now, I am not saying that their explanation about what causes strange dreams is wrong. I'm just saying that may not be the case here. After we examine a few more possibilities, let's take a look at some of the things people have been dreaming about, shall we? Monsters. Either being chased by monsters or being surrounded by monsters, demons, dinosaurs, being chased by dinosaurs, radioactive lizards, end of the world orgies, authoritative managers overlooking the production of a weird substance, people in hazmat suits, an oily substance in the ocean, BDSM stage plays in the middle of a wet market, receiving canned goods. In other words, in a dystopian future where someone is in need of help, so they are receiving canned goods. Being attacked by bugs. This is actually something that is one of the more common strange dreams that people are having. All different types of bugs, insects, and creepy crawlers. Mask dreams. Medical experimentation dreams. Dreams about elevators and escalators. Dreams about suddenly remembering to wear a mask or that there is a pandemic. Dreams about tsunamis and tidal waves. Let me read something to you. This comes from ScienceFriday.com from Pandemic Dreams by Deidre Barrett. Recurring dream. I am in the process of trying to do something that is otherwise important or responsible, like waiting in line to vote or holding my best friend's brand new baby, and suddenly realize I'm not wearing a mask. I feel ashamed and dirty, and like I need to leave immediately, but I haven't yet done the thing I came there to do, and I leave feeling guilty about both. I am walking past the building and come to a white door with a sign which reads, "Only self-embalming in Florida." By the way, I live in New York. So I walk in. I see a white bathtub with a gray liquid on the bottom, and the man in the white lab coat says, "We dispose of the elders." I go through a door into the adjacent room, and whatever was going on in there, I realized the elders they were embalming and cremating were not dead yet. I ran out of there and woke up. It was right behind me, breathing in low heaves and grabbing with invisible long fingers and hands. It was a dark, violent, and hungry entity. I am with family and lover, and we're being chased by silent, almost invisible rats. I only see their tiny eyes and flashes of teeth behind us as we run. My mother and grandmother are deceased. At the beginning of the outbreak, they both came to me in my dream. I was totally surprised and happy to see them again. I asked why they were there, and they said in unison, "We are here to get you." I knew what that meant and asked, "Now?" To which they both nodded yes. I said, let me pack first. They smiled at each other, laughed, and said, you won't need anything. But they let me pack anyway. Instead of clothes, I picked up a photo frame that was showing movies of my life and memories with them. I laughed and cried and realized it's been a good life, but I was still hesitant to leave. They slowly walked out of the room and faded away. I knew I was supposed to follow them and headed for the door. I haven't dreamt about them or the virus since. I hope it was my fears manifesting themselves and not a sign of what is coming. This recurring dream started when COVID was becoming recognized as a pandemic. In the dream, I was with my family at the beach. I knew there was a tsunami coming because I could see the signs, the tide going out. I was trying to tell my family and they thought I was overreacting. My son was particularly annoyed with me for ruining the vacation. I started telling strangers there was a tsunami coming and they ignored me too. Finally, a huge wave came in and battered the houses. I knew this was just the start, so I was trying to round up my family and others, telling them that we need to leave now. When I awoke, I knew this dream had to do with all of the effort that I had been making to get protective masks for my employees and prepare my workplace for the pandemic, as well as convince my family to take protective measures. I had constant dreams of glowing jellyfish, crumbling and crackling roads that were impossible to get out of without rolling the car. Family members lined up on the wharf with a tidal wave coming, flying whales, blimps crashing over the sea, pushing boats across coral and rocks to safety with family and friends in the boat, roller coasters, hiding and running and packing belongings. But all catastrophic dreams came to an abrupt halt when I made the decision to leave work and stay home with the virus starting to get out of hand. The very first night. Now again, there was an inquiry or a survey. Signs posted in Oregon and other places asking if people had strange dreams to call a number and report it onto a recording. You're going to find that Deidre Barrett, a researcher from Harvard, is pretty much the spokesperson for this phenomenon. They took this study of strange dreams, connected it to the pandemic, and piled it up on YouTube and Google. So there is nothing but news reports and dozens of news articles saying the same thing, much of which was put out in April of last year. The experts say that this is related to stress, sleep deprivation, and lifestyle changes. The pandemic is ultimately responsible, which makes a lot of sense. It does, given the science. However, there is something else that had increased in use from 2019 going into 2020, and that is the subscriptions to 5G service. See, it seems that there is a considerable effort to blame these strange dreams all on the pandemic when we know that EMFs absolutely affect your sleep cycles and REM sleep, lucid and vivid dreams. It's been tested and proven. This is from an abstract on PubMed. Absent or markedly reduced REM sleep with cessation of dream recall has been documented in numerous neurological disorders associated with subcortical dementia, including Parkinson's disease, progressive supranuclear palsy, and Huntington's chorea. This report concerns a 69-year-old Parkinsonian patient who experienced complete cessation of dreaming since the onset of motor disability 13 years ago. Long-term treatment with levodopa and dopamine receptor agonist did not affect dream recall. However, dreaming was restored after the patient received 3 treatment sessions with AC pulsed picotesla ranged electromagnetic fields applied extracranially over 3 successive days. 6 months later, during which time the patient received 3 additional treatment sessions with EMFs. He reported dreaming vividly with intense colored visual imagery almost every night, with some of the dreams having sexual content. Not only do EMFs affect our dreaming, but apparently so does the electromagnetic field of the earth. There was a very interesting article written called Dreams, Time Distortion and the Experience of Future Events, a relativistic neuroquantal perspective. Bachan's hypothesis that dreams involve the generation and perception of biophotons offers a possible explanation for the occasional experience of future events during these states. The Lorentz temporal dilation during dream periods for biophotons with THZ frequencies is 3 to 4 days, which is an average value between dream experiences and latter events. For 40 discrete cases, the global geomagnetic activity at the time of the dream experience was moderately correlated with what the geomagnetic activity would be 2 to 3 days before the actual event. The convergence of geophysical and cerebral properties indicates that intrinsic properties of biophotons may allow the experience of some process that precedes the apparent event rather than the event itself. In the article, it discusses consciousness, energy, and photons, time distortion, geomagnetic factors, brain interactions and dreams, precognitive experiences, geomagnetic activity and events, and attempting to answer the question, is the event or some pre-event process experienced in the dream? It is an interesting short read, and it is something I do believe we will be experiencing these events related to time distortion. There is a lot going on right now that many people do not seem to be aware of. If you haven't already, now may be a good time to start keeping a dream log. Whatever dreams may come, they may not give you all the answers, but it may provide a premonition of your future. There is more to come. Please stay tuned. Make sure to visit woodwardentertainment.com and the Woodward Entertainment store. And until next time, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, folks, and I'll talk to you all soon.